Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. According to the National Labour Market Skills Project Anticipation Report, youth unemployment has fallen from 58.2% in 2021 to 48.7%. But the fight is far from over. Today in studio, we're joined by Mpumalanga Eswatini, Project Officer from the Youth Sustainable Development Center, an organization that is driving youth empowerment through sustainable development. She's going to share how the organization is unlocking young potential, as well as creating innovative pathways to economic opportunity and skills development. Welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much.
Look, I'm looking at the numbers here, and I want to start with the headline number. Very important. Youth unemployment at 48.7%. Now, it's down from 58.2%, but still unacceptably high, so to speak, right?
Yes, that's true.
What does this figure tell you as Mpumalanga about where we are and how far we still have to go?
What this number tells us as the Youth Sustainable Development Center is that there is a need for just overall nationally for us to look at how better can we ensure that the young people that we are educating, the young people who are going through our different education system and entering into the age of employment, that they have something that they can enter into, and creating an environment that is enabling for them to be able to access either jobs or entrepreneurial opportunities. And so then as an organization who's very keen on youth participating in initiatives that contribute towards development, sustainable development initiatives, we then say that as young people, there are also ways that we can contribute towards this. And this is to ensure that the enterprises that we are able to develop and the projects that we engage in are not just projects that can assist you today, but then look at it in a way that you will be able to be innovative and competitive and be able to sustain yourself. Because the truth is, as much as the country itself can also do the right things in terms of policy and creating an enabling environment, the truth is, as young people, there are no jobs in the way that they were back then when our parents were still young and coming out and you could get a job with just your Form 5 certification. Yeah. Now, as young people, we need to find more innovative ways to access the market.
First of all, let me say I love the first three words of the makeup of the center: youth sustainable development.
Yes,
very important. But you are not only focusing on just jobs, the conversation around jobs, but you are very much, focused on innovation. You are focused on civic participation, as well as sustainability, as in your name. Talk to me about how this approach becomes more effective in today's climate.
Today's climate is such an exciting one because it is ever-changing. The technology of AI, just 2 years back, many of us were not as accustomed to it. But now we are seeing how it is shifting the environment and creating new opportunities for young people. And this is very indicative of the type of world that our young people are living in today. Things are ever-changing, ever-evolving, and they require us to have an innovative a mindset that is ready and able to adapt and is agile in the environment that we're living in. So as Youth Sustainable Development Center, we are very excited when it comes to youth development. Our approach is ensuring that young people understand that the world that they live in is not just their backyard, but to look outside of the world that they are staying in and look outside just their immediate frame of reference, and also understand that they are they're a national citizen and a global citizen. And in that way, the ideas and the possibilities also widen, which is why as a center, we also have opportunities for young people, such as the WhatsApp group, where we share continuously opportunities, both local and international.
When you say opportunities, you talk about job opportunities as well as educational opportunities.
We talk about a wide range of opportunities that are available to Eswatini, whether it is jobs, whether it is fellowships, skills development, funding, all types of opportunities, as long as it is available for Eswatini and it's available to young people, we will share it. And then for those who are maybe not as comfortable being on a WhatsApp group, because we know for some people that can be a bit overwhelming, we have also recently developed a virtual opportunities board where young people can go on there and access and look at some of the resources and opportunities that we've shared in this group.
Yeah.
And in that way, we believe that by engaging in some of these different platforms and signing on to some of these programs, it will allow young people to open their minds to what else is going on in the world,
Yes.
introduce them to new skills. And I used to love one thing that my father used to say, that skill and knowledge is something that someone can never take away from you.
Absolutely.
So even if your business maybe is affected by different things, if you are continuously improving yourself and developing yourself and being updated with what's going on, you then stand a better opportunity to then redirect your business, re-strategize, and see what other opportunities are out there, so that you can become someone who is sustainable and who has the capacity to stand the test of time.
And that kind of learning should be perpetual. Indeed, I agree with you. But I also want us to talk about rural youth as well as young women, particularly because they are often the last to benefit from any sort of economic growth. What are some of the hard realities that you have gathered that they are facing that do not make it more often than not into policy briefs or conversations in government and other important rooms?
The first part that we have noticed is in terms of just access. When you think about the fact that a lot of opportunities are very much centered around the Manzini-Mbabane corridor. This is something that I realized, having grown up outside of that space. When I eventually moved this side, there were so many more things that were available to me that I didn't know. So that's the first step. And then also the intergenerational gap that we see, to say, how is it that our young people can be able to engage with the older generation so that their initiatives also receive the support, because we do training with young people on youth engagement, and we also train other institutions and communities. And one of the things that we have found is that even the older generation themselves are not always don't always have the skills on how to engage young people. And yet, as much as young people, we are the drivers of our own future. The best scenario that you can have when it comes to youth engagement and youth participation is when there is a partnership between the young people and the older generation, because the young people, they have the energy, they have the drive, and then the older generation has the knowledge and the wisdom. And if you join those two things together, you can have such a very powerful combination. And so when it comes to young people in the rural areas, you find that they don't have the same access, and they don't always have that same level of the same ability to engage their local leaders the way that they should.
I am being advised to wrap up our conversation with the last question, and I want us to be very blunt and honest here. Are we really seeing youth participation in policy-making decisions, or they just show up for the photos, these group photos that we see on LinkedIn and on X by a lot of these organizations where we do see the youth presence, but are they really involved in terms of the, influencing that policy and how it influences them further?
Yeah, that is a hectic question, but I will say it's a bit of a hit and miss. We still do have some of those biases that deter some of the participation and make it so that it is not as effective as it can be, although I can say that we have seen more improvement in terms of how many young people are in the space. I think as a young person now, there are more opportunities to be in the space, but it just means that as a young person, you also have to be prepared to go out there and take those opportunities.
Mpumalanga, thank you for your time. The conversation sits at the center of economic opportunity and skills development, but all of it must be sustainable. Let's go for a net break. We have Sunny Lesbia chiming into what the markets are telling us today with the numbers.
Eswatini.